Hoxie native seeds here in the mountain mint field. Carol is swathing 2 rows at a time, and it's one of our last forbs. We still got a handful left, but definitely one of the last ones in that handful that we got to harvest here at Hoxie. Okay, so we're all done swathing this field, but Carol is now driving on top of our windrows. He's using the dual front wheels of the swather to really smash down our windrows. You might be wondering, why on earth are you doing that? And the answer is, in the past, wind has really redistributed our windrows, you might say. Carol likened it to turning it into a bunch of tumbleweed out there that was just rolling around in the wind. You guys are here. This field smells like toothpaste right now. It smells awesome. Flattened row already, and there's the one that Carol is flattening now. See how much higher it's sticking up from this here. Okay, we're down to our last windrow here to be flattened.
As we well know, we are in the swing of harvest. Kent and Dad are doing most of it. Peyton and I are working rigorously on getting people their backyard pollinator. But culver's root, ready to be harvested. We don't have enough to machine harvest, so Peyton and I will be hand clipping a bunch of it today. All right, a couple of snips, a couple of bags. Take us there, Peyton. Where am I going? Left. We gotta get through this somehow. Nope. Nope. There she blows. Where she be? She'd be there. Beans. Yeah, that ain't it. Go one more. That definitely ain't it. Go one more. There she blows. There they are. Look at them. This is it. You're driving around them. Here's the thing. You see a lot of weeds? Yes, but we're hand harvesting. And it's really hard to just go and hoe out all the mare's tail, because mare's tail is persistent. So it's easier to just go in and where they are and avoid where they're not.
We missed a couple of them. That's okay.
Baden, what's wrong with your bag, man?
It's not a bucket. A bucket would be way better for this.
Note to self.
This is common milkweed. You can tell by the way it is. Here, catch.
Here, throw me another one.
Okay. Here, catch.
Get out of my face. Note to anyone who is harvesting this stuff. Easier to use a bucket. Get the bucket, Peyton.
Over here, Carol's just finished up harvesting our, well, I should say swathing our hoary vervain. Now he's kind of smashing down the windrows like we did with the mountain mint. That way the wind doesn't blast it around or anything like that before we can get to it with the combine. All right, got the swather blown off after doing the hoary vervain. Now we're out here in the sweet black-eyed Susan. This is actually one of our most beautiful fields this summer when it was in full bloom. Carol used the word loud to describe it. I think that's the perfect word for it. It's just an incredible sight to come back here. We got pictures of it. Nick got a bunch of pictures, so Now would be a great time, Nicholas, by the way, to you know, patch that into the video. I'm not sure if you can see all the little swallows flying around me and around Carol while he's on the swather. One of the cool things that you get to observe when you're harvesting or swathing is all these insects get evicted from their homes, essentially, when the swather comes through, and the birds key in on that, and they kind of almost follow us around, coming to get the now easy pickings of all the little insects that are flying around in the air right after we go through an area. Okay, Carol's doing the last pass on this half of the sweet black-eyed Susan, and then we'll get the other side here in just a few minutes.
All right, so this morning we were harvesting culver's root, and now we are in a mixed field. This has got prairie dropseed and some white wild indigo, and also apparently some common milkweed and some Indian grass. So that is a weed.
It's not a weed.
That is a weed.
It's on my board.
And yeah, so we are harvesting the white wild indigo, and the Indian grass we are cutting it off and I guess harvesting it, but really we just need it out of here for when we swath the sand dropseed. White wild indigo is fun because it's got big old seeds in these pods and you can hear them shake. Sing your famous song, Peyton.
Good morning from Hoxie Native Seeds. Got Carol here in the background running the swather through the prairie dropseed. Yesterday, myself, Nicholas, and Peyton, we spent several hours out there in the prairie dropseed getting it cleaned out from Indian grass, Big Bluestem, Little Bluestem, and a few other weed species to try and give us a nice clean harvest. So today, Carol's hitting it with a swather. Right before Carol called me to tell me he was coming out here to harvest, or sorry, to swath the prairie dropseed, I was out hand harvesting our wild quinine field. It's just 2 strips of plants, and these are what they look like as they're dried out and gone to seed. And so nice, beautiful morning here on the prairie to be harvesting.
I turn the music up, I got my records on. I shut the world outside until the lights come on. Maybe the streets are alive, maybe the trees are gone. I feel my heart.
Okay, you can see these big kind of bushy plants behind me. This actually is where we kind of grow a couple crops together. This is our wild white indigo, or white wild indigo. I can't remember the exact name of it. My wife and I, we actually used to have some blue false indigo growing at a house that we used to live in, and just a beautiful, nice, bushy plant, but it has these little tiny pods on it right here. And Nicholas actually spent a lot of time yesterday going through and collecting a bunch of those through hand harvest, and obviously we got a few more to pick up here, but that's one way that we kind of use the same piece of ground for a couple different species that can grow well together. Okay, so you see how Carol is over here in the buffalo grass, driving in high gear there, as fast as the swath can go, that is. The reason he's doing that is because over there along the fence, we want to be able to drag the combine so that we're not you know, blowing chaff into our neighbor's side of the fence, but also not onto our buffalo grass here and killing off our buffalo grass with all that straw coming out of the combine. So he's going down to reset at that end so that he can cut coming back this way to the east. So he's gonna drive from west to east, and that way we can do the same with the combine later on.
Ken, how's your back doing?
My back is fine and dandy. Now,
Yeah, you got a strong young man back.
in about 5 minutes, you know, as the bend overs start to tally up, my back will probably not feel the same.
Lift with your legs, man.
I know.
Grow the glutes.
What are you, OSHA?
All right, so we got some not so good news. So we are pulling Indian grass out of Big Bluestem. We're just chopping it off. It's got to get harvested today or tomorrow. But we got to get the Indian grass out. The problem is, do you see the Indian grass?
Right there. There's one right there.
I know, I see it. Does anyone else see it?
Spot it. So Kent's son, Jonas, his favorite species is Indian grass. Now Kent, tell us, the viewers, and specifically your son, what you're doing today.
Peyton, it pains me to have to say this to my son Jonas, my only son. We are out here assassinating, rounding up and cutting down his favorite grass species.
You heard it here. Kent Boucher basically is to Indian grass what Brian Ferentz is doing to the Iowa offense in 2022.
Peyton, what time is it?
Time for you to get more water.
Yeah, Nick, get more water.
I'm so embarrassed.
Good morning from Hoxie Native Seeds. We had some rain this morning. Normally we jump up and down and scream with joy when we get rain, because rain is a very good thing. But we kind of didn't need it right now. I mean, we need it. The ground needs it. Streams need it. The lakes and ponds need it. But we're in the middle of harvest season, and we had a lot of wagons to get into the shop last night, and a lot of seed that was stored on racks outside. Now that the temperatures are cooler, it's safe for the seed to be stored that way as long as it doesn't rain. So before I left last night, I had to spend quite a bit of extra time getting all that seed moved inside, at least what I could fit. I'm still new enough with operating equipment that I don't have the sense that Carol does, and so last night I actually tried to move our biggest wagon in with the skid steer with fork tines on the front. And what we do, we have a little eyelet at the end of each tine, little hole that we can run a bolt through and hook up to the tongues on the wagons and move them. Well, that long tine when I lifted on that heavy wagon rocked me forward on my tracks, so I was like pointing down like this is not gonna work. But then I realized later, after I was home, that if I had put a different attachment on with not so much leverage out in front of me, I'd be able to handle it probably. Sure enough, that's what Carol did after he got done harvesting last night. So thanks to Carol for saving the day. But this morning I had to take that wagon you see over there, it's kind of hard to do in a mirror, and then this one over here on the back of the red truck there, and get the fans going in there. Actually had to mount a fan to the one hooked up to the red truck. Thankfully that one already had one. Now I gotta go find an extension cord to get that one going to dry off what we weren't able to get out. Now you might be like super alarmed right now. What, it's raining on the seed? Well, if it wasn't addressed, yes, that could be a bad problem. But remember, this stuff gets rained on all the time while it's in the field. It's just what's the advantages before it's harvested is the seeds are spread out obviously on each individual plant, and the wind can get through and dry it off. So as long as we get some air flowing through it, though, all of the wagons that we store the seed on have dryer floors in them. Then we can get it all dried off, and it's not a problem at all. So seed will be in great shape, but I still got a little homework to do yet in order to get it to that point.
I turn the music up, I got my records on. I shut the world outside until the lights come on. Maybe the streets are alive, maybe the trees are gone. I feel my heart start beating to my favorite song. And all the kids, they dance, all the kids all there until morning, it feels another life. I turn the music up, I'm on a roller side, and heaven is inside.
harvesting some Big Bluestem here on one of our satellite farms. It's a beautiful farm here. Just gives you a real idea what the prairie would have looked like as far as the grass goes. Real high, way above your head. Real tall, way above your head. Really tight, packed together here. Nice thick prairie, and just a kind of a special thing to be out here.
me back.